The great hall of the Galactic Council was filled with light and laughter. Tall alien leaders sat on floating seats. Watching the small human figure standing alone in the center, Ethan Hall stood straight, even though his heart was heavy. He was chosen to represent Earth, not because Earth was strong, but because Earth was weak. The council screen showed images of human cities, old ships, and broken space stations. The aliens laughed as they watched, calling humans slow, fragile, and outdated. One council member leaned forward and spoke in a loud voice. "Earth is a failed experiment." The hall echoed with more laughter. Ethan felt every word like a strike, but he did not bow his head. He remembered the millions of humans watching this moment from far away. Another council member raised a hand for silence. "Today, we end this embarrassment," he said. "The galaxy has decided to give Earth a final gift." The word gift made Ethan look up. Hope tried to rise in his chest, but it was weak. He had learned that the galaxy never gave without a reason. The lights in the hall dimmed. A side door opened slowly. Everyone turned to look. A tall alien woman walked into the hall. She wore silver robes that flowed like liquid light. Her face was hidden behind a thin, glowing veil. The council member smiled. "This is your reward, human," he said. "An alien bride, chosen for you." For a moment, the hall was silent. Then laughter exploded from every side. Some aliens stood, others clapped, enjoying the show. Ethan felt his face burn with shame. This was not a gift. This was a public insult. He looked at the woman beside him. She stood perfectly still. She did not look at him. She did not look at the council. The council leader continued. "You may take her and return to your weak planet. Let this marriage remind you of your place in the galaxy." Ethan wanted to speak. He wanted to shout that humans were more than this, but his voice would not come. The woman finally moved. She turned her head slightly toward Ethan. Though her face was hidden, he felt her eyes on him. Something strange happened then. The laughter slowly faded. Several guards lowered their heads. Ethan noticed it. His breath caught. Why would guards show respect to a bride meant to be a joke? The council leader cleared his throat, clearly uncomfortable. "The ceremony is complete," he said quickly. "You are dismissed." Ethan and the alien woman were escorted out. As they walked through the long corridor, no one spoke. The sound of their footsteps echoed like a countdown. Inside the transport ship, Ethan finally sat down. His hands were shaking. His future had been decided without his choice. The ship lifted off, leaving the council behind. Stars stretched into lines as they entered warp. Silence filled the cabin. Ethan glanced at the woman again. She sat with perfect posture, calm and unmoved. There was no fear in her body. He realized something then. She was not acting like someone who had been given away. She was acting like someone who had allowed this to happen. Outside the ship, the galaxy moved endlessly. Behind them, the council believed they had won. They believed they had humiliated humanity forever. They were wrong. Ethan did not know it yet, but the woman beside him was not a punishment. She was power. The transport ship moved quietly through deep space. Stars passed like slow rivers of light outside the window. Ethan sat across from the alien woman. The silence between them felt heavy, almost alive. He tried to study her without being rude. Her silver robes did not wrinkle. Her breathing was calm and steady. Most prisoners looked scared or angry. She looked neither. Ethan cleared his throat. "My name is Ethan," he said softly. "I was chosen to speak for Earth." The woman did not answer. She did not even turn her head. For a moment, Ethan felt foolish. Maybe she could not understand human language. Maybe she simply did not care. The ship shook lightly as it changed course. Two armored guards stood near the door. Their weapons were lowered, but their posture was strict. Ethan noticed something strange every time the woman moved. Even slightly, the guards became tense. One of them placed a hand on his chest in a sign of respect. Ethan frowned. Why would trained galactic guards show honor to someone meant to be a joke? Hours passed. No words were exchanged. Finally, the woman spoke. Her voice was calm, deep, and clear. "You should not sit so far away," she said. "In this union, distance will only invite danger." Ethan stiffened. "You can speak human," Cliff said in surprise. "I speak many tongues," she replied. Human language is simple, but honest. That single sentence confused him more than silence ever could. She spoke as if she had studied humans. Ethan leaned forward slightly. "If this marriage is a punishment," he asked, "why do they treat you with respect?" The woman looked toward the guards. They quickly looked away. The Council fears what it does not control, she said. Before Ethan could ask more, the ship slowed. Lights shifted from blue to white. They were approaching a station. Outside the window, a massive structure appeared. Golden rings surrounded a dark core. Ships of every size waited in perfect order. As they docked, the guards moved first. They stepped aside and bowed their heads. Ethan froze. This was not protocol. This was loyalty. The woman stood. When she walked past the guards, they lowered themselves further. One whispered a word without meaning to. "Your Majesty." Ethan's heart skipped. He turned sharply. What did he just say? The woman stopped walking. She did not turn around. "You heard correctly," she replied. The station doors opened. Rows of alien officials stood waiting. Every single one bowed. Ethan felt his knees weaken. The Council had called this woman a gift, but gifts were not greeted like this. He took a step back. "Who are you?" he asked. His voice barely steady. The woman finally turned to face him. Her veil still hid her face, but her presence filled the space. "I am Elira," she said, "Queen of the United Systems." Ethan could not breathe. The galaxy had not given him a bride. The galaxy had handed him a ruler. Behind him, the station doors closed. Ahead of him, power waited, and far away, the Council laughed, unaware that their joke had just become their greatest mistake. Ethan stood frozen as the title echoed in his mind. Queen of the United Systems. The words felt unreal. He looked around. The station hall, every alien head was lowered. No one dared to meet Elira's eyes. "This is not possible," Ethan whispered. "The Council said you were nothing but a bride." Elira stepped forward. The room seemed to move with her. "They said what suited them," she replied calmly. "The truth rarely serves those in power." Ethan followed her as officials guided them through the station. The halls were wide and shining. Walls displayed symbols of ancient victories and lost worlds. As they walked, Ethan noticed something important. No guards pushed him back. No one treated him like a prisoner. Instead, they watched him with curiosity and something close to respect. Inside a private chamber, the doors sealed shut. The noise of the station faded away. For the first time, they were alone. Elira reached up slowly. She lifted the glowing veil from her face. Ethan's breath caught. Her features were sharp yet gentle, eyes like starlight, old and knowing. "You deserve the truth," she said. "Especially now that our paths are bound." Ethan sat down heavily. "My world was mocked today," he said. "My people were humiliated in front of the galaxy." Elira did not deny it. "I know," she said softly. "I was there because I allowed it." Ethan looked up sharply. "You allowed them to laugh?" "Yes," she answered. "Because the Council has grown arrogant. They believe power only comes from size, weapons, and fear." She turned toward the window. Beyond it, fleets moved in perfect lines. "I rule the United Systems," she continued. "But even a queen must sometimes hide her strength." Ethan struggled to understand. "Why me?" he asked. "Why choose a human?" Elira faced him again. "Because humans endure," she said. "You survive without permission. You lose again and again. Yet you rise." She stepped closer. "The Council once laughed at my people too. They called us weak until we proved them wrong." Ethan felt something change inside his chest. Pain slowly turned into resolve. "This marriage," Elira said, "was not meant to shame Earth. It was meant to protect it." She explained the truth. Enemies were watching the throne, waiting for weakness. The Council believed tying a queen to a weak species would break her. "They wanted me trapped," she said, "bound to an insult." Instead, she had chosen the insult willingly and turned it into a shield. Ethan clenched his fists. "They used us," he said. "They laughed at us." "Yes," Elira replied, "and now they will learn the cost of that laughter." A low alarm sounded through the chamber. Elira's expression hardened. "The first challenge comes sooner than expected," she said. "What does that mean?" Ethan asked. "It means," she answered, "that your test, as my chosen partner, has already begun." Outside the chamber, ships began to move. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. The Council had played their joke, but they had forgotten one thing. Humans do not break when they are mocked. They remember. The station lights shifted to deep red. Warning signals echoed through every hall. Ethan stood beside Queen Elira as screens activated around them. Star maps appeared, covered in flashing symbols. "The Council has moved faster than expected," Elira said. "They fear what they can no longer control." Ethan swallowed hard. So they decided to attack. Yes, she replied. They will claim it is for balance, but it is truly for fear. A senior commander entered the chamber and bowed deeply. Your Majesty, he said. Enemy fleets are approaching the outer systems. Ethan felt his chest tighten. This was no longer politics. This was war. Alyra turned to Ethan. Her calm did not fade. Stay close, she said. In the coming hours, many eyes will be on you. They moved to the command deck. It was vast and alive with motion. Officers spoke in sharp, controlled voices. On the main screen, enemy ships appeared. Their numbers were overwhelming. A show of force meant to crush resistance. Ethan clenched his jaw. They think humans will hide. He said, they think we will beg. Alyra looked at him. A faint smile touched her lips. Then show them how wrong they are. She gave a single command. Human ships were brought into the formation. Old designs, slower engines, weaker shields. Whispers spread across the deck. Some officers doubted. Others watched in silence. Ethan stepped forward. His voice shook at first, but grew stronger. Humans adapt, he said. We fight smarter when we cannot fight harder. He pointed to the map, suggested a narrow corridor near a dead star, a place larger ships could not turn easily. The room went quiet. Alyra studied the plan, then nodded. Execute, she said. The battle began moments later. Energy fire lit the darkness of space. Massive ships struggled to maneuver. Human pilots moved with precision, using speed, angles, and teamwork, turning weakness into advantage. Ethan watched in disbelief. Enemy lines broke. Confusion spread through their ranks. On the council channel, frantic voices erupted. This was not expected. How are they doing this? Alyra stood tall. They forgot something, she said. Humans do not fight for pride. They fight to survive. A sudden blast rocked the station. Shields held, but barely. Alyra placed a small symbol into Ethan's hand. It was warm and heavy, a mark of authority. Wear this, she said. From this moment, you speak with my voice. Ethan's heart pounded. The galaxy was watching, and for the first time, humanity was not kneeling. Outside, the battle turned. Enemy fleets began to retreat, far away, in the halls of the council. Laughter was replaced with fear. They had struck first, and now they were losing. The silence after the battle felt unreal. Broken ships drifted slowly across the stars. The enemy fleets were gone, leaving only fear behind. Ethan stood on the command deck beside Queen Alyra. His hands still trembled, but his mind was clear. Across every channel, messages poured in. Worlds that once ignored Earth now watched closely. The galaxy had seen something change. The council sent a signal. Their voices were no longer proud. They asked for talks, not commands. They want peace, Ethan said. They sound afraid. Alyra nodded. They should be, she replied. Power shifts. When truth is revealed, the council hall appeared on the main screen, in the same place where Ethan had been mocked. Now the laughter was gone. The leaders stood in silence, their eyes fixed on Ethan, not as a joke, but as a symbol. He challenged the balance. One council member said, humanity had no right. Ethan stepped forward, wearing the mark Alyra had given him. Humanity earned that right. He replied, through survival. Alyra spoke then, her voice steady and strong. This union stands, she said. Any threat to Earth is a threat to the throne. The council bowed, slowly, unwillingly. But they bowed, across the galaxy. The message spread. Humans were no longer weak. They were allies of the Queen, back on Earth. People watched the stars with hope. For the first time, they were not alone. Ethan looked at Alyra. You chose us, he said. I chose truth, she answered, and humanity embodies it. They stood together as equals, not ruler and subject, but partners. The galaxy would remember this moment, the day laughter died. And respect was born. Once, humanity was mocked. Now, humanity had risen.